how do I deal with it?
How do you constantly not worry about something?
So what do we call this?
So why are we born?
Is it an issue?
So I was at a party the other day, and I was looking at a conversation happening there. So there was this gentleman who had just bought a new small car, and he looked so happy, and he said, you know, I just bought a car and it suffices my needs and I'm really happy about it. And looked very satisfied and content. While others said, why did you buy this car? You should have gone for an SUV, or you should have bought this and that. You can afford it. Why didn't you? And he said, no, I'm fine with what I bought. I'm content. What makes people stop at something and be content and say, this is enough for me?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before I answer your question, I have a question for you. You said at a party, you were looking at a conversation. How do you look at a conversation?
I was hearing a conversation, listening to a conversation.
You were listening. Okay, because
Correction.
I was intrigued that you were looking at a conversation. Okay, your question is, how do you remain content?
Yeah.
Contented. Yeah? Again, it is your makeup, it is your psyche that either makes you dissatisfied with what you have or you're satisfied with what you get. It's a mental framework in which you have learned to operate. Learned because of the circumstances in which you grew up. Learned because of the upbringing that was administered by whoever was around you as you grew up.
So there's another situation I would like to ask, like we decided to buy a house, okay? So we invested in that flat, and I mean we thought at that point of time that yes, this is something we need to do, and I was all in that zone that I'll be very happy and everything will be fine and things like that. We took that decision, we went through tough times because there were bills to pay, there was house to manage, so it wasn't a very easy phase, and what I thought would give me a lot of contentment actually ended up me getting more worried, more anxious, irritable. Now in these situations, then how do you bring yourself around to feeling satisfied with the decision that you took?
There are two components to what you're asking. Number one is that you took a decision and you're assuming that decision to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're also assuming that the decision was based on facts. And probably it was not, because you didn't factor in the day-to-day running expenses, then the unforeseeable things that a new acquisition brings into the whole scenario. And probably the provision was not made for
like
these
a backup,
factors, these factors. And therefore, when you actually entered the situation which should have given you a lot of pleasure or contentment, ended up in creating a stressful situation.
Yeah.
So now you are questioning the contentment. So, pause. It was your intense desire to possess your own shelter.
Right.
You fulfilled that. So the contentment in fulfilling your desire is not diluted. It is there.
Yeah, and it happened, yes.
It is there. Now it is clouded by the other things which you had not thought of or planned for.
True.
Your contentment is now being suppressed by your immediate need to cater to the new things that have cropped up for which you had not planned earlier. So it is a deficient planning which has given you a feeling of suppression of contentment, which you are interpreting as I am not contented. You are contented. Even today, if I ask you, are you happy with the house that you acquired? Now that the difficult phase has gone over, you will still tell me, yes, I am very happy with my house.
Yes, yes.
So the contentment never vanished.
One more scenario I see is that people want more and more and more materialistic, like nothing is enough. If you have this level of car, you want a next level, then you want a next level, and then because money is very easily, a lot of people are earning really well today, you know, so they have the money in their hands. And somehow I feel, is it that they feel that the more they acquire, they're going to be happy and contented? And still you see so many people getting depressed and levels of depression increasing all over. So
you heard the word addiction, right?
Yes.
We are addicted to acquisitions.
Okay.
And addictions are never pleasurable.
True.
At the end of the day, whatever you are addicted with makes you unhappy. You started smoking a cigarette and the thrill of smoking the cigarette was pretty high, and that overcame all the ills of smoking. So initially when you smoked, you tried different styles and different way of holding the cigarettes and all that, because it was the in thing, and the heroes on the screen were doing all kinds of smoking, rings and all that. After 10 years of smoking, that thrill has vanished. And now people have been pounding your head saying that cigarette smoking is injurious to health. You're seeing all those slogans also. And your health is also giving you signals that you're coughing, there's phlegm, the incidences are increasing. So you're also getting irritated with smoking. So end of the day, the addiction leads to something which is undesirable.
But acquiring, why would, I mean, though I know, I understand what you mean by addiction, but acquiring more and more and
you
bigger
create
house,
clutter.
bigger car, bigger...
You create clutter in the house. And then you discover that ye nahi chahiye, what you spend tons of money for acquiring something, you sell dirt cheap in Bhangar, because now you don't want it. And then you feel, you regret, "Arey, itna paisa deke kharida, ye Bhangar wala to kuch nahi de raha hai," and then you end up quarreling with the Bhangar wala. As if you should have got at least 80% of what you spent, which doesn't happen. So why did you acquire it in the first place? It was a whim, a fancy, an addiction of acquisition which you are indulging in.
So that's not ever going to make you feel...
Contentment is a subject of you being happy with what you have. When you equate that into comparison with other people, then that contentment shifts base every time. Because other people can change. Today you are comparing yourself with one colleague in your place of work. Tomorrow you will compare with a neighbor. Day after tomorrow you will compare with a family member. Your base is shifting.
So who you are benchmarking actually
You yourself are the benchmark. Your needs are your benchmark. Other people's acquisition cannot be your benchmark. But we never define our needs.
Correct.
And that's why our needs keep changing. And that's why our expenses keep changing.
So what I understand is, it's very important for us to define our needs, understand our needs, and probably draw the boundaries there to be contented and satisfied in life.